You ready?
Yep.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
The 20Q reviews AlphaGo games.
You're reviewing it.
You got this?
You're reviewing it. I'm just here to look pretty and ask questions.
I don't know. Alright, so we're going to do this to have a review to see what Q players can learn from AlphaGo. So first, let me go ahead and change the title of the stream. Title: Q players. No, I'll just do it. I don't want to do that right now. Title. Go. Let's do that. So this will be what Q players can learn from AlphaGo. All right, so you start and tell me what the first weird move is.
You start? Okay.
Yeah. So it's AlphaGo versus AlphaGo, game 1. First button. Is that weird?
No.
Okay, normal.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's normal.
Normal.
Okay.
As a Q player, normally you say don't attach the things.
Yes! I say normally don't attach the things. So, let me just say something for the record. This is normally considered a bad move. And I'm going to stand by that it's a bad move.
Okay.
I don't care that AlphaGo played it. We don't know why it's played, therefore it's a bad move. Don't do this in your games. Now, let's talk about the attachment a little bit. And that is, normally you attach to gain strength, and attaching to live in some difficult areas can sometimes be good. We also notice that AlphaGo likes to attach a lot to try and just get a little bit more. So normally, I think the way Enseong talked about it was we used to not attach at all, right? Like 70s or 80s.
It's like don't touch. Don't touch.
Nobody touched anybody.
No touchy.
Yeah, nobody touched anybody for like a good 50 moves. There was like maybe one touching move.
Right.
Nobody touched anybody's.
It's really boring though, because killing stuff is fun.
Okay, but it's not about killing stuff. So pretend you're wanting to win and not kill stuff.
Normally you win by killing stuff, but I thought.
No,
Usually.
no, not at higher levels. At higher levels, killing stuff is
Okay,
bad.
well, to a double-digit Q, that's how you win. You have to kill things.
Okay, but pretend you're a strong player.
Ouch.
Okay, pretend you're a strong player. Yeah, bad things happen when you contact. Pretend you're a strong player. What would you do to win?
Okay, pretend I'm Clossi. I don't know. You're one down now. Let me know. I'm kidding. Okay. Like instead of this move.
No. The idea. What
Okay.
What do you need to do to win? And go.
To win. Surround territory. Don't die.
Correct. So that's pretty much a good answer. Is that you want to surround territory and not die. Okay, so that was what it was. They would just surround territory, attack lightly, gain profit, etc., etc. And then the 90s and early 2000s came around, and they said, we want to play faster. They wanted to break the bubbles that was constraining their moves and play like almost anything in order to get a little bit more, and get a little bit faster, be a little bit faster. So, in other words, become more sente, is basically what they're saying. So to become more sente, they would gain more value, because sente means forcing, right?
Okay.
So if you can force your opponent to respond to you, normally when you're forcing your opponent to do something, you're getting a little bit more than your opponent, right?
Okay.
So the more sente you can be, the more you can get. That's the theory, anyway. Then AlphaGo comes along and says, even though we thought we had broken all of our boundaries, it turns out we still had many more boundaries. And this is one of them. So,
Touching.
right. So here we have to ask, what is the idea behind this move, and why is it considered normally bad? So do you know why a touching move is considered bad?
Because it reduces your own limits.
Yes.
And now it's like your opponent's turn. So if it was a capture race and it was just those stones, then technically, like if you had to focus on capturing the other person, black went white because of this, right?
That was an impressively perfect answer.
Aw, yay!
So, yes, you have a disadvantage in a fight. However, when you're invading, you already have the disadvantage.
Yeah.
So normally, for an invasion, when you touch, it makes both sides stronger. So, for example, if I was to touch a stone on my side, it would make my opponent stronger, which would make it easier for them to live, right?
Okay.
In theory. So, vice versa, touching something on my opponent's side will make it easier for me to live, because both sides get stronger, right?
Okay.
So, I think the idea here is for AlphaGo is he's trying to gain strength and reduce this area in sente. So it all comes down to basically sente, sente, sente. Doing stuff in sente. So if we ask ourselves, where's the next big move? It would be the right side, and then the bottom right corner is also approachable. So something on the right side, or maybe the bottom right corner, but there's also a weak stone at R14, but we're finding that can be ignored more and more, this approach to the star point. So for example, if white plays again, black can ignore. So even if white plays here, black can ignore this shape. So white's starting to ignore, because if black's going to ignore, then white wants sente. So if it's all about sente, then we should ignore first, right?
Okay.
But anyway, so this one, no one really fully understands this one. Yeah, so no one really understands this attach. Like, we still are studying it. But according to research, it's eventually comes down to AlphaGo wants sente. And so he's trying to play even faster and faster moves to get sente. All right, so he plays here.
I'm pretty sure AlphaGo games make everyone feel dumb, for the record.
Yeah, and now he plays here. And now you're just like, what on earth is happening, right?
Because you'd think weak stone save it. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
But probably, I don't know if I count.
So when you touch, you normally want to
I
hide.
would Hane. I'd go away.
Right,
I'd
so
run.
when you touch, you normally want high, right?
Yeah.
So here's a good question. Which Hane? So if you play this one, right, keep your territory, I'm going to play here. Because normally the response to a Hane is either a crosscut, a Nobi, or another reverse Hane.
Yeah.
Those are the common responses. So if I play this one, this stone looks a little lonely, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I should change it and play this one to give that one support. All right? But now I play this one. Okay?
And now he's got
You fix.
all that over there that he can save.
Right, you fix, and now I have some stones maybe working together. So maybe I'll come back and do this one. And if you fix again, then all of a sudden, ta-da, a position, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't the exact variation. I can't say what AlphaGo's actual plan is. But you can see it's not as easy to respond to as you might first think.
Yeah, it's weird.
So this one, it's not that the stone's useless. It's just, in theory, it's bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you respond?
Yeah.
So maybe just the Nobi's okay? So let's see what AlphaGo does. AlphaGo does Hane, and he Hane's on this side. And he does Hane. He does the reverse Hane. So, ha! Called it! And he connects! I totally called this. So something I'm saying is right. Either that or somehow I'm getting to the right answer. But now we see that the F3 stone's lonely.
Yeah.
Alright, so now he's going to finish here. So now he's trying to be fast. He's trying to be everywhere. Sente, sente, sente. So we find that he's not fixing this.
All of a sudden, R14 isn't so lonely anymore.
Yeah, R14's not lonely. And all of a sudden, let's look back here. Black has complete control of the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Not anymore. I mean, black still has, like, the corner, but
Yeah. So
white has a bunch of, like, Moyo over
I wouldn't say it's a moyo.
here. Okay, it's a bunch of stones that are in the same, like, channel area-ish. I know what I'm trying to say, but when I try to translate it into Go terms, it doesn't make sense anymore.
It's not a framework either, because white's not going to get points here. What he did do is stop black from getting a lot of points there.
Yeah.
And he did this in a way that we normally would call Sabaki. You know what Sabaki is?
That's one of the Go words I don't know.
Sabaki is to play lightly and escape quickly.
Okay.
So basically,
No,
be willing.
You have explained that.
Yeah. So basically, play lightly and be willing to give up something in order to just destroy the area. Right?
Play light, run away.
Play light, run away. So it's interesting to think that maybe we don't have to respond to this cut. So the worst case, right? So if he goes here, this is normally something we would never want to happen. Because now we have one of two options. One is we extend with the Atari, like normal. Black gets the whole side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two is we save this stone, but then black gets Panuki in the center, right?
Yeah.
Neither one of those we like.
And the Panuki's the diamond shape, right?
The Panuki's the circle shape.
It looks like a diamond to me.
That one.
Yeah. Diamond shape.
Okay.
Because it's straight lines. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a circle.
Okay. But here, yes, there's Panuki, but there's also a weak stone. And remember how weak stones are theoretically bigger than the big moves? So what if I Atari and I Atari? You want to connect? No, now there's no more diamond. And you have weak stone. You want to fight the Ko? Possible. Because now you can do something like that, right? So there's lots and lots of variations to consider. Or maybe we just go here directly.
And now F3 is very, very lonely.
So it's hard to say that we want that Panuki when there's F3. But this is only us trying to justify AlphaGo's moves. In theory, leaving a cut is bad.
Okay.
Hey, Abram Magician. But in theory, leaving a cut is bad. I don't recommend doing that. I would say that you can potentially learn that sometimes... So first off, the first shape you want to learn here is when they Hane, a reverse Hane, so basically Hane back, is a very common shape. He's done it twice now. Normally, the best response is to connect. Both sides connect. When you get into cuts, like sure there are cutting points for both players, but it gets very complicated very quickly. So usually the best response is just connect and then connect. But in this case, AlphaGo is saying sometimes we can Tanuki this. So I would say a note here is sometimes that shape can be Tanuki.
Okay.
But I would do it with extreme caution. I would do it with extreme caution.
Yeah.
Alright, so AlphaGo's just reduced the entire bottom very fast and still played on the right. I would say it's very, very fast pace.
Also, for the record, I'm pretty sure it's Abra Magician. Like
Abracadabra?
abracadabra.
Okay. So, pincer, try to split, right? This shape's common because...
See, playing there would scare me.
Well, it's a 3-space extension, right? So, when there's a high on one and a low on the other, the most common response is attach on the head. So, this is a common response.
Like, black's move right there.
This one? This is a common splitting move. It's a 3-space jump. That's why you know one stone jumps 2. If one stone jumps 3, it can be split in the center.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah, it's still scary.
Well, it's scary.
To a double-digit coup, because I don't know how to live. I'm not very good at living.
It's a common move. It got waved off. I'm also trying to keep us on topic because we have 2 games to do. And this is also going to go on YouTube, so I'm worried about the topic straying too far from the game. Because normally with Twitch we would talk more, but I want this to be also a YouTube video. Okay. Feel free to ask questions, though. I'm not going to ignore you. I just want to stay on topic. Yep, so he's going to connect. And then sente again. Sente.
What was it you said? Sente is God?
That's an endgame. An endgame, second line is big, Sente is God.
I feel like that's just like the whole game, though, because it's all you guys talk about.
Well, AlphaGo is now saying Sente is God. AlphaGo worships Sente, I believe. I'm pretty sure AlphaGo worships Sente. AlphaGo says there is a God and his name is Sente. Anyway, it's interesting to see that White did attack this F3 stone. F3 is lonely. Normally you defend weak groups. But he's saying it's not a weak group yet, it's just a single stone. And yes, that stone is big, the bottom left is big, but the bottom left is only this. Because the corner's already whites.
Yeah.
So the bottom left is only this chunk. And there's white stones, and there's a black stone. So we don't know who has control yet. Yes, it is big. Yes, it is important. But there are weak groups on the right. And weak groups on the right are something to attack when you attack Sente. So we have to decide, is the right side attack bigger than the bottom side attack?
I don't know, because usually with the Clossi approach, it's your weakness first.
But do you remember why? Do you know why I say your weakness first, your opponent's weakness second, to get to 1 dot? Because
I assume not dying is like
yes,
95% of go.
no, like 80 to 90% of the time, your weakness is bigger than your opponent's weakness. Because it's very difficult to attack your opponent's weakness when you have weakness. Oh my gosh! Why'd you push the button?
I didn't mean to. I went to lean on your chair and I missed.
Oh my gosh! Clossi just died a little.
Don't die.
I just had a heart attack. Just had a heart attack.
Ow. Now you're sitting on my leg.
Well, who's the one who pushed the button in the chair?
I didn't mean to.
Ow! Talk about distractions. You're a terrible co-host. Push the chair of the teacher while you're teaching. Okay, where was I before I died? I had a heart attack. Fell off a cliff.
You're saying that most of the time your own weakness
yes,
is weaker than...
80 or 90% of the time your weakness is bigger than your opponent's weakness because
it's hard to attack
when your opponent when you're weak. However, that will get you to 1 dot. Now, after 1 dot, you have to start learning those exceptions, that last 10%. Right? So
10 to 20.
Yeah, 10 to 20%. So after you reach dawn, you have to start considering, yes, this is my weakness. Yes, my opponent can attack it. But if I attack my opponent's weakness, will I gain more than he will gain? If we both attack each other's weaknesses simultaneously, who will gain more? If I will gain more, then that means his weakness is bigger than mine.
Gotcha.
Additionally, sometimes it's good to attack your opponent's weakness while defending because it's usually a very good defense. But I still consider that a defense. Even if you're attacking while defending, you're still defending. You're just doing it in sente. So here we're learning that, or here AlphaGo's saying the right side, attacking the right side is bigger than defending the bottom. And then he disagrees with himself. Now he says attacking the bottom is bigger than defending the right. But
I keep forgetting it's the same computer.
AlphaGo versus AlphaGo. So, in my mind, what I think AlphaGo is saying is that attacking might be bigger than defending if you know how to do it.
Okay.
Now, I won't recommend that approach without caution. And what I mean by that is defending yourself is easier to do and easier to win. It's easier to win if you defend yourself first and attack your opponent second. It's much easier to do. So that's why I tell all my students to do it, because it'll help them get to 1 dan faster, to help them have a good, strong game. However, it's not a 100% thing. Defending yourself...
It's never 100%.
Yeah, it's never 100% go. Defending yourself might not always be the biggest thing. Sometimes attacking might be more valuable. But you have to do it right. And that's where it gets difficult. So here we might see that AlphaGo says attacking might be bigger than defending. But we don't know. Isn't top left biggest? So actually, we answered that in the Clossi approach. Weaknesses are technically more valuable than big moves. And the reason we say that, but the sente value also becomes important in there as well, but it's more or less, weaknesses are more valuable than big moves. Let's talk about the theory for that. Okay. So, a big move. Let's say there's only big moves. Black plays black plays the biggest big move, right?
Okay.
White plays the second biggest big move. Black plays the third biggest big move. White plays the fourth biggest big move. So
right.
Black will be leading, but White has Komi. So if Komi is equal to the difference between the first biggest and the second biggest, then as long as we both equally play the biggest moves, then in theory we would always be even, correct?
Okay.
Because of Komi. So we'd always be even in theory, right? So how do we win? We have to somewhere on the board make an exchange that is more valuable for us, and then go back to the big move.
Okay.
That's where attack and defense comes in. For example, we both play big moves. I attack you in sente. I gain 1 point more than you in that attack. Then I go back to playing the big move. But because I did it in sente. So before I played the next big move, I attacked you, got a point, went back and played the next big move. So in theory, I'm now winning by 1 point. Correct?
Yes.
So this means as long as you can get back to that next big move, attacking will give you the lead, and then you can get back to the next big move, keep your lead. So in theory, because of that, we say that weaknesses are bigger than the big move. And that is because that is where the bad exchange rates will happen. because the exchange rate for big moves are even, as long as we both are getting to them. But the exchange rates in a fight is advantageous for the attacker. So attacking is technically more valuable. But why do we defend? Well, that is to prevent our opponent from attacking us and gaining value, right? So that's why we defend. So that's why I say defending's easier, because you defend, now your opponent can't do anything to you, who plays a big move. All right, now you play a big move, and it's still even until he has a weakness, and then you attack his weakness and gain profit. You've already defended yours, so you don't have to worry about it. So defending yours first and attacking your opponent second, and then playing the big move is, in theory, the easiest way to win and go. That's the Clossi approach.
Yeah.
If you can get sente after defending your weakness, oh yeah, definitely. But, oh, thanks for the follow, Abra Magician.
Abra Magician.
Abra
See?
Magician.
Abra.
Abracadabra.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, so now but now we're saying that AlphaGo is saying that attacking might be bigger than defending. But we don't know that yet. This is only the first game, so we're just going to keep that little idea in our head. Maybe it's a right idea, maybe it's not. But it's something we can think about. All right, so now let's continue. All right, so he jumps here. So he's still attacking the bottom right corner. The whole bottom right.
Although Pokemonster 433 did have a point, why not just go there to another target? That one.
Ooh, here?
Yeah.
Ah.
I can't take credit for that. Those one of the good followers, but that is a...
Let me ask you this. Locally, it's big, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when I play globally? I can control the board. When you attack something, you want to attack the entire thing, not just part of it. The reason is it's too easy for high-level players to sacrifice parts of it and get a big something else somewhere else that's bigger.
You see, to a double-digit Q, a double Atari is huge.
Correct. For a double-digit Q, this move would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I
Like,
would
if
say
I was white,
it's
I
not
would
a bad
panic.
move. It's not a bad move.
If I was white, I would panic.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad move.
Okay.
It's a very good idea. You kill all the weaknesses in this area and get all the territory. So it's actually a very good move.
As far
But
as,
on a
like, the
global
bottom corner is
scale,
concerned.
it's only a few points. Yes, it's security, but it's only a few points. So Black would say, Black would rather, at a higher level,
Yeah.
attack the entire group all at once. This way, if he's going to capture, and let's say White tries to do that same exchange, like, I'm going to get the whole board, right? But this is not a variation.
Yeah.
This is just an example. Now, when he captures it, he captures a lot more. So now this is unplayable. We can't let that much die. So
Okay.
now it's a lot more pressure. In other words, it's going to force us to defend. And what happens when we defend? It means we're making profitable exchanges because we're attacking and they're defending, and we're getting the advantage. So when you attack something, attack the entire group. All right, he said O5 at Q5. O5 is a little bit strange. Q5 is more direct, and it just does the job directly. This one, there's still a lot of Aji right here. So I would say Q5 is probably better than O5. Because if you're wanting to just defend and kill the stones and get the territory and be solid, this does the job much
Okay.
better. If you're going to attack the whole group, Q5. What?
Yeah. He said O5, but he meant Q5. I think is what he's trying to say.
Oh, he meant
I'm
Q5.
not sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Which,
okay.
which is what I was saying. Because you said double Atari, so I was like, where?
Oh, okay. Anyway, yes, Q5 is much better for that. But when you attack something, this is something else you can learn, is attack the entire group, not just part of the group.
Okay.
When you attack the whole group, not just part of the group. It's too easy to sacrifice part of it. Okay, so at this point, I would say if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, and you're wanting to study this, or if you are watching on Twitch and you just want to watch it later, I would recommend maybe getting a pen and pencil at this point, because I've just noticed we're saying a lot of stuff and it's only like 24 minutes in, right?
Yeah.
So I would say anything that you want to do, you could take a pen and pencil and just write some ideas down. Because remember, we're only seeing what we can learn from it as a Q player. And we want to get some new ideas to try and to work with and just see what we can learn. And we have, 50 of these games, I believe?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, hi, Jasper. How are you doing? That's Jasper.
Hey!
Yeah. Okay.
I was wondering why someone screamed my name. I was like, why do they know my real name?
Okay. Back to point. So, if you're watching this on YouTube or something, or watching it at a later time, I recommend at this point for this video and the rest of the videos, get a pen and paper. Take notes. Because these notes might prove very useful. They might be good ideas in the future. Because the whole point of this series is to help give you more Go strategies and more Go ideas, so notes can help you with your study. So these videos are meant to help you study. So you can learn the AlphaGo games as a Q player, and learn something from the AlphaGo games as a Q player. So what we learned so far is basically sente is very important. Mm-hmm. Sometimes this reverse Hane shape, if you didn't know it, sometimes apparently it can be ignored. I would not do that I would do that with caution. I wouldn't. Yeah. It's still scary even for me to ignore.
It's scary.
And maybe in some scenarios, attacking is bigger than defending. Maybe. Never know. But anyway, these are ideas to think about. Maybe you don't know how to apply them because actually I tried applying sente in my games.
Uh-oh.
It didn't go well. I died. And then I backed up a bit, so I started trying to do sente, but only I was being more solid. I stopped the attaching moves because I was trying to be like AlphaGo and attach and try to get sente. It didn't work out. I can't read as well as AlphaGo. That didn't work. So I scratched that idea and just tried to do simple.
Read as well as
right. I tried to simplify it and just do sente and try to worry about sente. And then I come into a new weakness of mine that I had, which was I wasn't making enough points in sente. And that's something I've been learning and working with on my own. So
it's like
I'm learning from AlphaGo as well.
You're good at like sente and making people do what you want, but getting as much.
Right. So I was getting sente quite often, and I was constantly getting sente because I was forcing myself to get sente, but I didn't make the good exchanges. And so
that looks like math.
Yeah, defending is usually bigger than attacking. And weaknesses are more valuable than the bigger moves. But AlphaGo is saying sometimes if you're skilled, attacking might be bigger than defending. So if we want to change the wording, we can say attacking is bigger than defending, but only if you know. And I will say that even if attacking is bigger than defending, I would still say defending is easier to win if you make defending bigger than attacking. If you defend before you attack, then it's easier to win. Okay. But if you attack before you defend, it might be more valuable. It's just a lot more risky. Right. It's more. It might be more valuable. It just might be more risky. Yeah, AlphaGo says get good. Basically, get good. So that's something we can learn. It's interesting. So we're learning all kinds of new strategies. All right. So bottom left, really big. Bottom right, really big. So keeping consistent with your own plan. Important, basically. Yeah, that's a big position. Big position is big. At this point, the bottom right corner is bigger than the top left corner, even if white played first. Because if all the bottom right corner becomes territory, that's a quarter of the board that's solid territory. Not invadable, nothing. So I would say at this point, white has to do something in the bottom right.
R14 looks really
unless he can turn the bottom left into just as big as the bottom right, then I would say the right side or bottom right or somewhere on the right is important because it's not just the bottom right that he's also getting. He's also attacking the stone at R14. So I would say now would be a very important time to play on the right. So let's see if I'm right. I might be wrong. Ooh, I'm right. Okay, now we get another touching. AlphaGo is holding back on humans and sente true power. N9. I would do the horse. My instinct would be here, and if neither of those worked, then I try to find something else. I would have to read a lot.
But touching that stone is weird.
Yes, no one would think of this. But remember our definitions of when to touch.
Yeah.
When do you touch?
Players don't like touching.
Yeah, they don't like touching. When do you touch? Do you remember? We said it in this video.
Give me a sec.
You touch when?
You touch when you're playing on your opponent's side because it makes both sides stronger and makes you more likely to win.
Yes!
I remembered a thing!
So that's what he's doing!
It's so weird.
It looks weird. It is weird. But he's doing it correctly, if that makes sense. In theory, he's doing it correctly. But of course, everything has to be backed up with reading. So let's see what the result is. Okay, so he decided to stay strong and not split. I would have haunted that. I would have totally haunted that. And this is the shape, right?
And that's the one where they're supposed to like go fix the cuts because it's the.
So if I go here and then try to do something here, right? Let's say I try to kill the group. Then it'll be no matter. Do you know how valuable a Panuki is in the center?
A lot based on the tone of your voice. You
The
said
theory
when you
is-
say Panuki in the center, like it's its own special thing, that tells me it's like really
A
valuable.
Panuki that is facing the center is worth, in theory, 30 points.
Jeez.
All right, now let's say the bottom left. Would you say the bottom left plus 30 points, the bottom left plus 30 points is equal to the bottom right?
I don't know. I can't count. 30 points sounds like a lot.
I would say it's possible. So maybe this is why the cuts aren't good. But of course, I can't read as good as AlphaGo. I have no idea what he's reading. I'm just trying to come up with ideas, theories on why this would be okay. And then if I can't justify it, then I can't use it. If I can justify it, practice it,
If you
implement it, correct, and
So
it
if you
works.
understand why he's doing what he's doing, then yay. If not, ignore AlphaGo.
Pretty much, if you can justify it, that means you can try it for that justification. If it gets proved wrong in your games, or you just can't handle it or can't use it, then don't even use it.
Okay.
This greatest strategy in the world is useless in a beginner's hands.
Because they don't know how to use it.
They don't know how to use it.
So double-digit Kyus.
So something like this, touching when you're trying to gain strength, it's an idea. You can try it. I tried it. I can use it. I died. I died quite a
all
lot.
math and trees. Isn't that what reading is, though, is a bunch of trees?
So I can't pull this off. But AlphaGo can. So I think, in theory, that's why he's doing it.
Okay.
So you can try it in your games. But I couldn't do it, so I wouldn't do it. Another attach. So now,
That's
do you
weird.
remember what I said about Sabaki? So this
Yes.
one, I would
Play
play.
light, run away.
It's not that. So this one, so the first one looks weird. This one looks genius. The reason is, when you start looking at the combinations. So now we play that same shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
That relationship between the stones is really good. It's really hard to cut that shape off. So I would say now. Ooh, what about not that? Sorry. Previous variation. What about we do something like that, and then we aimed at that attachment? That might be possible. Maybe sometimes when reviewing a pro game, the follow-ups will tell you why the previous move is good.
Okay.
So he played here. So this one, I really like. The first one, I had no idea what was good. This one, I think is really good. That is because we can apply Sabaki here very
It looks
effectively.
really good. Because now all black has, it's like the set over here, and the white has all of that.
Right, and it looks like White was
Oh, it
able
looks
to
like
defend himself very effectively. So remember how I said don't try to kill things? That's because
Yeah.
it's very hard to kill things.
But
So-
killing stuff is
So look how many
fun.
stones Black has to those white stones on the right. So he has that many stones, right? White's ignored it this many times. And still he was able to come back to life. Killing stuff is hard. You attack for profit, not to kill. Unless they kill themselves. Like they
But
did.
killing stuff is fun.
Well, if you want to win, then you need to win with better strategies. Alright, so now he defends himself. Okay. Ooh, like there's that shape again. Hane, reverse Hane.
AlphaGo likes the
Then
reverse
double
Hane.
Hane. Double Hane's
See,
also
that
fun
looks
too.
really scary. Because then you've got all the weird petty.
Double Hane
stuff.
Double Hane is good when they have bad liberties. When they have bad liberties, you can double Hane. Alright. Would you say that you can you surround White? Can you seal in White?
Up here?
No, if you were Black. So let's say
Like
let's
top
say
right?
you're given one free move. Can you seal in White?
In the top right?
No, the right side. The whole fight where we were fighting.
Oh. Probably not. I'd say maybe.
So if you take the Tiger's Mouth, because Tiger Bounce and Vital Points, I
Yeah.
disconnect, right?
Yeah.
So obviously the only move
I was gonna say
is to prevent
right
that.
there.
Tari. Tari.
Connect.
All right, one more try. That's L6. Target. Panuki in the center. This group can no longer be sealed in.
Jeez.
No matter what you do, this group can no longer be sealed in. In other words, AlphaGo said, all right, I'm good. I can't be sealed in, so Tanuki. Because sente's important.
Gosh.
The,
So now he's
the
trying to
moment,
save the lonely state
yeah.
up there.
So in my mind, what I think AlphaGo's doing is the moment that group
It's
cannot
okay.
be sealed in, could not be killed, basically cannot be sealed in, he Tanuki, and we got Sente again. So he will ignore the group until one move away from its death, and then it'll live.
That's a crazy good amount of reading, though.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of reading, and it's really, really risky, so I don't recommend. I recommend being very cautious if you're going to ignore weak groups for Sentai. There's also these things. Just because you can't be sealed in doesn't mean your opponent can't threaten to seal you in.
Yeah.
Like I did today.
Did you win?
Yes, that game I won.
There you go.
Because I said I can try to surround my opponent, but he'll escape, and I won't get any profit. So I'm going to play this move, which will give me about 5 points profit, and threaten to seal him in. So that way when he defends, I'll get 5 points. The exchange rate's good.
Okay.
I mean, I attacked for profit. I wasn't trying to kill him. I was trying to get 5 points. Then, of course, he responded to prevent the 5 points, and I sealed him in, and he died. But that was beside the point. My strategy was, I'm going to get 5 points, he's going to escape. Because when you attack for profit. Okay, so now I would say he's about to get sealed in again. Now I expect him to defend. However, Black ignored a cut in order to get influence in the center. So me, I would never ignore that. I would never ignore that. I might try to do something around it to try and get Sente back, but I would never ignore this. And he was like, nah, screw that. That's not big. This one's hard to justify. Because this stone can still run away, so these two stones can still be cut. Yes, this area can be reduced, so it might be small, but it was also it was also a cutting stone because when you connected, these two groups were cut. So I actually have no idea how to justify this move.
Okay.
Some moves we are just not going to understand.
I mean, like Black.
You're going to have to
here?
understand that. Some moves we will never understand. You're going to have to understand that.
I will do my best.
Alright. So now he seals him in. Because he thinks influence here is more valuable than splitting. AlphaGo lives. Yeah, AlphaGo pretty much fixes everything and lives. Because now he's sealed in, right? So, AlphaGo, of course, wants Sente, but now he's completely sealed in. He needs life. So, he makes sure that Black can't play this move right here. And make sure he's alive. So, even if he reduces, AlphaGo can still live. Alright, so Black threatens it, makes a Sente exchange.
And now Q11 looks
And now he does the exact same thing that White just did and comes back and lives over here. Because you know how it's like one move away from dying?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's one move away from dying. So, okay. The right side was technically bigger, so he did that first. But now that he's one move away from dying from the bottom left, now he's going to come back and do that. So AlphaGo does defend. One move away from his death. And gets points everywhere else until then.
Which
So-
I'm assuming is not something you would recommend for double W.
Put it this way. If it's one move away from death, if you value that even one move wrong, you die.
So as a double digit Q, don't do that thing.
I don't recommend that. If
Don't do
single
that
digit
thing.
Qs want to try that, or Dons want to try that,
I would say
it might be interesting. So
don't
I
do it
might
until you're done.
I might
That would
try
scare
it
me.
once or twice because it sounds like a very interesting idea. But you also have to take into account
A
how-
lot of
yeah.
reading.
how valuable is it, even if you don't die, for them to surround you and attack you. And then what you're getting, is it more valuable than what they're doing? So I would say you can Tanuki a group up until one move before it dies, only if you're attacking something of equal value or more.
And Tanuki is placed somewhere else in
Yes.
the door, right?
Ignore the local situation.
I have to
So
make
would
sure I
you
remember
would
what
you
things
agree with that statement? So in theory, from this game, could you state that I can ignore a group up until one move before its death, if and only if I am attacking something of equal value or greater?
As long as you can count that the moves till death correctly, I'd say yes.
I want to say that's what we're
Yeah.
seeing here.
If you can perfectly read that this is one move until death and then fix it, then yes, go for it. But if you're...
Am I right? I have no idea. But that's the theory I'm starting to formulate in my head from this game. Alright, so we see some attaching moves. These are common moves. This is just an asking move. Yes, you can if you know the way out. This is just an asking move. We live in the corner or not. He's just making some sente changes before he lives. But then white didn't connect the cut. So normally you would expect something like here or like here to kill the stone. And then black gets some forcing moves. And then can get out. And if white doesn't, and white wants to seal you in, well, now you can connect under. Right? But instead, white said, I'm going to honey. So I'm going to cut you. And basically the same thing this move does. It's just a lot looser. So now black says, I'm going to cut. But I'm not convinced that corner is going to live. Because to my mind, that corner still looks kind of dead. Maybe it can live, but it looks difficult. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm never going to see the empty triangle. I'm just going to put it... This was not even one of the moves I was considering.
See, to me, that's just... I'm connecting things.
But it's already connected. It's diagonals are connected.
Well, you're going to have to play it either way, because if he plays on one side, then you have to make an empty triangle. And connect on the other side. So he's just playing that in advance, I guess.
Don't play stuff in advance. If it's not there, don't play it. What he's doing is after black respawns, and I get the tiger's mouth, right? I now have this move, and this move is Miai. You know what Miai is?
That's when if you play one thing, then you play the other thing, but if they play the other thing, then you play the one thing.
So now white has two ways to punish black. So this move feels kind of cool, actually.
See, I would play that move, but for very different reasons.
Well, this move's normally bad, because it has very bad liberties.
See,
Empty triangles have bad liberties.
Connect stuff.
It's already connected.
Okay.
If it was
That's
me,
why I would
what's
play
wrong
it,
with
though.
this move? Yes, I can be cut right here, but...
See, you end up playing the same triangle anyway.
But I'm going to connect. I have Mia to connect. It's fine. But here, I'm splitting black, and I'm out. Or if black wants the outside, I'm still connected. So to me, there's nothing wrong with this Nobi. But this move just kind of feels cool, I guess. Because now...
Once you know, like, where it goes from there.
It seems like it has better follow-ups, but it's really, really hard. I'm not strong enough to say why this move is better. But it feels cool. Okay, so now he plays this double peep. I'm not sure what he's doing here, actually.
Yeah, that scared me.
That's what he's doing. That's cool. I think white's just going to defend and keep points. This is just a sente reduction. Yeah, see? White just defended, and later black can just do that. It's just a sente reduction. That's all it is. Just free points. AlphaGo said, hey, free points. Psh. I'd do that too if it was with the free points. But the timing is inhumane. What I mean by that is, the timing of this
I think you mean
is really...
inhuman.
It's human.
Inhumane is like...
Listen, English major. Shut your face. I know what I meant.
Well, it is a computer, so inhuman makes sense.
The timing doesn't feel human. Because I know what it does,
inhuman.
And the strategy makes sense, but the timing doesn't make sense. The timing is just off. Because right now, the bottom left is super important.
That's AlphaGo.
Well, all of these moves are sente, but after white does this, is the next move sente? I don't know. And black said, no, it's not. But then why make these changes in the first place? Because black knows he'll get it later. Probably. Because it's very small for white to fix, but it's sente for black to fix. So he just did it. So that's why I said the timing's very non-human.
Well, what is a computer we're talking about?
Yeah. So this move is very, very large. To the point, I think this to me looks like a bad move. It looks like one of my students' moves. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm attacking the left, but the left ain't gonna die. Oh. That's what I would expect the conversation to go. In other words, I have no idea what this move is. It just looks bad. Sente. Sente. Okay, back to here. So he's constantly calculating. He's trying to figure out which one's which. I don't know what's going to happen. So it does look like the corner can live at some point. So later, it looks like the corner might be able to live with some shapes like this. The corner looks like it might be able to live. So he's just destroying part of the influence while attacking these two stones? Maybe? Forcing your opponent to crawl is very big. Very valuable. The second line is super, super, super small.
Yeah. Super line.
So he's
line, right?
forcing his opponent small on his opponent's side. So in that case, it feels really good. But the timing of when to get back to that corner is going to be important, because that corner is very large. Yeah. We know it's sente over there. We know. We're good. Alright, so now it's 4 in a row. Can you live in the corner now? Oh, he goes 5 in a row.
See, I like the pretty straight lines.
So, I guess the corner's White's burden. So he says, yeah, I can live here. But big moves are big. So he'll just do it later. So I guess the corner's just going to be White's burden. And White made sure he's alive, so even if Black does live there later, then...
White's still alive.
Yeah, White's still alive. I feel like all of these were really good for Black, though. Like, these exchanges just look super good for
now
Black.
it just has a wall.
Yeah, it looks... I like Black on the left. And the right, I like White. Because that was Black's whole area, and White just like, whatever, I'm just living here. The top side also looks good for Black. So I'm going to say I like Black's position.
Doesn't Black lose?
We don't know. Black wins some of the time.
That was a little upset at the end of it. I don't remember. Like when you were like saving
We're not judging the end. We're judging right now.
Okay.
Because the end may be something self-authority. You never know. You can't judge a game by the result.
Okay.
So...
But yeah, at this point it does look good for Black.
You think so?
Well...
Look at you, you beautiful 20Q judging the board. You're so strong. You're judging AlphaGo's game and saying who's winning, who's losing.
Dude, that looks good.
I like Black. But according to AlphaGo's analysis, it's almost always even in their games. In the AlphaGo versus AlphaGo games, it's almost always even.
Because all of this on the right is weird. And then White has, like, the bottom left corner. And then Black has the ability to, like, all that.
What was that?
Like,
Yeah.
that area.
It's
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, I prefer Black, but it's not easy. It definitely is close. But according to the analysis, so White said, nope, territories, this is too big. It's too big. Actually, it's very common to ignore the star point lately. Do you know that? An approach to a star point is sometimes ignorable. An approach in the Knight's move is apparently ignorable. And then an approach in Knight's move slide is also ignorable. The star
These are all the things I'm finally learning to do, and now you're like, nope, that's ignorable.
I mean, it's good to respond, but it's also it's not impossible to ignore. So the star point's very flexible and can be ignored very easily. The star point's very flexible. Very interesting. So he said, nope, territory's big. Interesting. Alright, so White has a lot of solid territory. Black has a lot of influence on the top of the middle. So, of course, attack the weak stone. Very big. And then run. Surround. Clossi approach. So, weak stone, no base, run. When you're running, surround. When you're surrounded, live. Alright, reduce the eye space. Tanuki is not one of the Clossi approach moves. And like that, you defy the Clossi approach. So he does reduce... So apparently he thinks he's not going to die. 3/3 is good for immediate life. Like, it's really easy to live. So the reason is, if you look at the sphere of Black influence, it does look like White's surrounded. Would you want to run into all that? Do you think you can run in there?
No, there's no way I'm running into
Yeah,
the wall.
There's no escape path, right? There's no escape path in any direction. So would you agree that you're surrounded?
Yeah, I'd try to live
So
in
when
the
you're
corner and then play somewhere else. But I would live in the corner first.
Right. That's what he did. He lived in the corner. So why did he do that?
You're getting distracted.
Yeah, sorry, it was a comment. So why would he do this instead of just living in the corner now? Oh, whoop, I'm on my pen. Okay. Why not now?
Is that smaller? Like a lot smaller?
Black's too big. Compare that to that. It's very obvious why.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why. He's just living. It's
So
nothing
shut my
crazy.
music off. I just have my music so much.
But now he does this. So this one's a little bit tricky in timing. And also it looks cuttable. So this one's tricky. So if we try to cut, I think white will just make life on top. But if we don't try to cut, then white reduces too easily, right? So this one's tricky to respond to. Also, white just ignored the top left corner. So let's ask, are we alive? Like, this is what I would do. I would ask, are you alive? But if I ask, are you alive, and you just start running, and then somehow you live, then you lived in my influence. So, Kara, can you kill that group?
The white group?
Yep. Can you kill it?
Me? No.
So, I would say it's very dangerous for white. But I would also say
See, that's
that
what I was trying
black
to do.
doesn't
and
look alive.
That was what I was trying to do in the game. You were making fun of me earlier.
I don't make
That I
fun.
was playing earlier. I was trying to just like, okay, I'm gonna make this thing alive, and then I'm gonna walk into the middle and make that less points.
No, I made fun because you honeyed into a Cosme that could be cut. Anyway, this group doesn't look so strong. So it looks like it's very dangerous to kill this. Which means, I would say that you could surround this in sente. Because if unsettling it and chasing it is not valuable, then surround it and let it live in Gote is valuable. Okay? But if you're going to surround and live in Gote, then that means, is this profit more valuable than what white just took away? The calculation here is very, very high.
Yeah, I'm not a
The
computer.
profit,
I
the profit here is less in value than the points here. So I just said, nope. Yes, you'll get profit, but I'll get over here. Let's see what black does. Unsettle. So he is going to chase, actually. So he said chase is bigger. 5 in a row?
Oh my
What?
gosh.
That's not cuttable? What? What?
Why I sound like a song?
Atari. Peep. Live?
Sensei, what is happening?
I'm trying to read. So, if I try to cut, I don't know. I give up. I don't know. I don't know on this one.
So what does AlphaGo do?
AlphaGo didn't cut. He just said, no, this is big. He's going to attack the whole group. Maybe that's what it is. Attack the whole group, not part of the group. Including that one extra stone, guys. Maybe it's as simple. It might be as simple as that. Attack the whole group, not just part of the group. It might just be that simple. But I don't know. I don't understand why the cut doesn't work. Surround the whole group. Back to the Clossi approach. This one's just watching the cuts and watching the force moves. Stay strong, keep them surrounded. Stay strong, keep surrounded. Very basic attack strategy. Diagonals at the end of the board. Yeah, utilize your opponent's weakness to gain strength. That's what this move does. Utilize your opponent's weakness to gain strength. Attack while defending. This one, keep white cut. Okay, so I'm trying to... I know the idea behind this one, but I don't know the variation. So when I see this, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a plan somewhere. So let's see the plan. Black's dying. That's the plan. Oh my gosh. The whole left side's dying. Do you see that?
Left side. The giant line?
Yeah, okay, so now let's draw a line of the white stones. Do, 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 do. Do you see that black group? It's now surrounded.
Oh.
White just reversed it on himself. The best defense is a good offense. This is the very definition of that. Alright. Stay there. And now both players have to live. What? That. That's confusing. So remember how I said AlphaGo likes to attack before defending?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. It's not obvious, but that's what he's doing. Let's see if it shows. Okay, so he just defended it. Okay. So you have to actually read quite a bit for this. And I'm not even sure I'm right. So first off, this is the exchange, and then he kills it with some move, right? So we just assume that he kills it somehow. That's nice and solid. Just assume that kills it, right?
Okay.
So we assume one move kills it. This is what a human would expect to happen, right? Or this is what your first instincts would be, is if I cut here in sente, then I can kill this. I'm alive, he's dead, right? Seems good. Until you realize that everything over here, like this whole group, might get cut off. And there's a cut right here for these stones. So it's not like this group can connect down here. Now, I would need a lot more reading to show you the exact variations, but this is the general idea that I have that AlphaGo's doing. But I would need a lot more reading. Like, for example, all these freaking double Ataris right here, all that Hane, all the Aji and these Ataris and everything, or maybe that's not even the best move to cut. Maybe he can peep or something, or cut somewhere else. I don't know. Or maybe it's this shoulder hit. I don't know. That actually looks nice. Because if I go here, then these two stones have bad liberties and might cut. And if you defend it somehow, then I have more support for that same double Hane variation. So that might be cool. Anyway, I would need a lot of reading to tell you the exact variation. So I don't know the exact variation. But I'm confident that the idea is AlphaGo values attacking more than defending. Which is a very interesting concept if you think about it. But you have to be really confident in your attacking to do that. Because I am not confident in my attacking. I die when I do that. That's cool. That's a cool defense. It's just a fancy defense. Fancy way to defend the cat. More fancy stuff.
Understood. AlphaGo's a Lannister.
What?
I know, that makes no sense when I just say that one sentence, but it's, let's go attack this thing over here to unsettle them, instead of, like, defending our little spot. We're gonna go unsettle you and make you run over here and fix this.
I have no idea what you're on about.
I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to make it make sense.
Okay, AlphaGo's a Lannister.
Yep.
Sure. No.
Or things like the Lannister.
No.
Let's go attack this thing over here.
No, that was the start. I'm not even going to get into this philosophical argument with you right now.
It's not philosophical, it's fantastical.
A philosophical fantasy argument. Okay, anyway, he's trying to defend himself in a fancy way. That's what's happening. There's still a cut. Holy crap. Oh, it's only 5 stones, though. Yes, there's a cut, but the 5 stones may or may not be important. I'm not sure yet. So that's a co-connection. Okay, so just gonna connect. Cut the 5 stones? Oh no, that's sente. That's sente. Sente. Now cut the 5 stones. Are the 5 stones dead? Look dead to me. But AlphaGo lived and he got the obligatory? So, for example, AlphaGo got this whole section right now.
Okay.
After that double Atari, AlphaGo got this section, right? It's his. Yes.
Say white and black because they're both AlphaGo and it's making me really
Oh,
confused.
sorry. White got this section right here.
Uh-huh.
Black got 5 stones. White has sente. So White gave up 5 stones for sente. The territory evens out, but the 5 stones, I think Black got the 5 stones over White in the exchange. But 5 stones are only 10 points. Ow! Why do you keep pushing that button?
I didn't push the button. I was just going to move my foot.
And you push the button. Anyway, AlphaGo says sente is worth more than 10 points. That's why he's saying it. Stop pushing that button.
I didn't push the button.
I'm going to make you sit over there if you don't stop pushing the
There's
button.
no seat over there.
Exactly. You'll stand. Stop pushing the button. It's a big red button. Don't push the
Why
button.
can't I just sit on me? That makes so much more sense.
Because then I would be uncomfortable. Alright, so he played over here, which is very, very big. This move's very big, because remember, Black ignored this to attack. He did get 5 stones, but he lost sente in exchange. And apparently sente is extremely valuable. Okay, yeah, so Black has to defend. This just defends the points while threatening to connect, and if White splits, then Black will just live in the corner. So he's just trying to get the most points. Yeah, he's just trying to get points while defending. Alright, White knows Black's alive, so now he plays this, which looks like the next big move, or at least it's a sente big move. And now we are in endgame. We are now in endgame. In endgame, sente is God. Second line is big, sente is God. That's what what was it? Japanese.
I don't know.
Maeda sensei said.
I just know it's...
Okay. Reading. There's a Tsuji. I'm trusting the AlphaGo read a Tsuji.
Tsuji is a smart, like...
A skillful tactical play that works in a local situation that normally would be bad.
Yeah.
Basically a skillful tactical move that works in a local situation. Like I said, I'm sure AlphaGo read that. I trust he has a Tsuji there. That's just reading. That's all that is. Life and death and reading. Right, so I think we're in endgame. Okay, so I normally don't review endgame because endgame you can study on your own. It's just a lot of math. And if you understand the concept behind endgame, and that is count the value of all the moves, pick the one that's the most mathematically high in value one, and sente first. Play all your sente moves first. Sente, then play the high mathematical. Play the most valuable ones. Anyway, in endgame it's just sente. You can practice that on 13x13s if you want to practice your endgame counting and practicing keeping sente, and then just play in real games. I would say the most important things are the opening and middle game to learn from pros, and if you want to practice your endgame, then you can easily do that as well, just by counting the value of the moves, or the value of the score change when they're playing your endgame moves. So yes, you can learn endgame from pros. I just don't want to do it because it's a lot of counting and very time-consuming for a video. So,
Okay.
Conclusion times.
Conclusion time.
Conclusion time. What did we learn from this game?
Sente and attacking might be more valuable than defending.
Yes. AlphaGo says, screw human logic, I do attack.
I do it.
So it seems like AlphaGo likes attacking
That's all.
more than defending. It's very difficult to apply that ourselves, but it's a new idea that we might, learn. So, we also learned several shapes. We also learned attack the group as a whole, not just part of the group. And that one was actually less obvious in the top left. That one actually took a minute. Took me a minute to actually figure out that's what he was doing.
And it took you explaining it for me to know.
Yeah, sure. Quiz time. Is defending more valuable than a big move?
If someone's attacking you, yes.
Okay.
Because of exchange.
When can you ignore a defense?
If attacking somewhere else is bigger.
Until when?
One move away from death.
Yes! So, these are some ideas that we can learn from this. So, you can apply these with caution as you see fit in your games. But
with caution.
Apply these... apply these with caution. Because these are very dangerous strategies. And one misstep and you'll lose. And you'll die. Or you might die, you might lose, you might do both. One misstep in these ideas, and it's game over. So these strategies, I would say... take with a grain of salt. Is that the expression?
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt that while these strategies may be cool...
Be careful.
Yeah. These strategies might be cool, but be very, very careful when implementing them. Read a lot. And count. Counting is important. Okay, so that's it for the first game. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will go ahead and start the second game now. But for the YouTube video, we will be cutting it here, and then on the next video, you will see